Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, and I am finally answering your questions from my 5,000 subscriber special video. Also, Mimiko is sitting on my microphone right now. I'm not sure why. Mimiko, why? Oh well, let's get into this. Okay, so the first question here is by Internet Addict, and the question is, what is your favorite expansion and stuff pack of all time in Sims history? So the expansion part is pretty easy for me, and then stuff pack is a little bit less of a clear-cut decision. So my favorite expansion pack would be The Sims Unleashed, because that's the first time we ever saw cats and dogs be introduced as pets in the Sims series. And it not only just did that, but it also made the neighborhoods much bigger than they already were. And that's what I think is like a perfect example of what an expansion package should be like. Yeah, it has the main theme of adding pets, but it does other things besides adding pets, especially like for those who may not want pets in their game. You can also get Unleashed to do other things like expand your neighborhood and get all the really nice Old Town objects. That's one of my favorite sort of themes in Sims history. Just all the Old Town themed stuff is so cool looking. I really like to see a world like that in The Sims 4 at some point. As for my favorite stuff pack, that is a much tougher decision. I think I would say teen style stuff for The Sims 2, because usually teens and children are really overlooked, but teen style stuff kind of broke that trend, at least for the moment. Because, yeah, family fun stuff, it did add stuff for kids, which was cool too, but most of it was costumes. But with teen style stuff, it added a lot of, like, everyday use sort of stuff, which was really fantastic. I love the 3 different styles in that stuff pack, like the surfer style, and the gothic style, and the princess-like style. So yeah, it would be kind of cool if they did something like that for The Sims 4, where they did a teen-focused stuff pack that would bring back the pillow fight interaction. I think I'm one of the only people who actually likes that interaction a lot. I always find it really hilarious. Also, I gotta give an honorable mention to Perfect Patio stuff, because that stuff pack is really cool in my opinion. I like literally every object in it. It's like, it's kind of funny. It's just like, it's called Perfect Patio stuff, and by the Sims 4 stuff pack standards, I'd actually pretty much consider it perfect. It's just that I can't really put it on the same league as the Sims 2 and Sims 3 stuff packs, because the Sims 4 stuff packs have less content, but they add stuff of more value, like the hot tubs. So, I don't know, it is just a weird thing, because I consider the stuff packs of the Sims 4 to just be like regular store DLC instead of what they're called, stuff packs. I think it's just a weird thing on a marketing perspective. Overall, I do like the way that they're doing the stuff packs for The Sims 4 better though. Alright, let's move on to the next question, asked by Angela Cortez. What is my favorite video game of all time? So this will be an interesting choice. So I decided, okay, it's probably going to be a Sonic game, because those have really made an impact on my life, and those are the games that started to kind of help make me become a gamer. And I decided the one that really started it all for me, Sonic Advance. It was the first Sonic game I ever played, and it's a very interesting blend of the Genesis era gameplay with a little bit of Sonic Adventure mixed in, where you can like grind rails with Sonic and Amy. And yeah, it's just like a really fun game, and I think it's definitely my favorite out of all of the handheld Sonic games. I know that game has been put on the Wii U eShop recently in Japan, and I really hope that makes its way to the US one, because yeah, like if it did, you'd probably hear my absolutely delighted scream, just because that game like means a ton to me, and I'd love to play it again, because I lost my Game Boy Advance cartridge. I have no idea where it went, so I'd really love to have like another copy of it so I can start playing Sonic Advance again. That would just, oh, that'd be so amazing. The next question is from Magic Kisses, and it's if you had to be one age for the rest of your life starting today, what age would you pick and why? Now this was a really interesting question, and I had to think quite a bit about this, and I think I would actually pick the age that I am right now, which is 25. Because, yeah, there were some really great childhood memories, and my teenage years were really memorable as well during high school. But the thing is, if I were to go back to those times that they are right now, it would be so different, and it would ruin the memories of what they were. Especially just like remembering like what some of the people I follow on Twitter tweet about with their high school, and it just seems like it gets more messed up every year, and I really would not want to ruin those memories especially. So I think I would stick with what I have right now because I have like more privileges and things as an adult. I'm over 18, so I can sort of do the things I want, even though there are those drawbacks of paying the bills and those adult things, but overall I think it's worth it for more freedom and not ruining my childhood and teenage memories. Alright, next question is from Daniel649200, and it's why did you call your channel Iron Seagull? Alright, it's time to take a trip back in time here. So once upon a time, my channel was not called Iron Seagull, it was called Captain THPS4, stands for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, because I really loved the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games back in the day. And this was back when my channel was just like, it wasn't a serious hobby or anything, it was just like, I just share some random funny moments once in a while, or raw gameplay of certain premium objects from the Sims 3 store without any commentary over it. But yeah, eventually I was just inspired by people like Queen and Andrew Arcade to start doing videos with commentary, and that's when I decided I wanted to call my channel something else, something with more memorable and a less stupid sounding and cocky name like Captain Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. So that was when I started this Iron Seagull name about 2 years ago. It was like the very beginning of this superhero renaissance, or whatever you want to call it. Superhero movies are such a huge thing now. And Iron Man was basically what started it all. I guess you could argue it even started with like the older Spider-Man trilogy, but Iron Man was where it really took off, and I really love the Iron Man movies, and I really like seagulls, and I really wanted a name that would definitely stand out, that people could remember. I just remembered like this joke I ended up seeing on Tumblr later on after I created this name, about like letter to the next generation. Good luck finding a good username because like so many usernames would be taken. And well, I mean, as someone who likes seagulls, I'll still admit that like 99% of the world hates seagulls. And I figured that something like with Seagull in the name would really help my channel stand out, and people would remember it more than something like, I don't know, Cool Gamer 9 or something like that. And I didn't want to have Sims in my name either, because I knew from the beginning that I wanted to do mainly The Sims and Sonic the Hedgehog. So I decided to combine Iron Man and Seagull, and there we go, Iron Seagull. A seagull who is able to fly really fast and shoot fireballs and wears armor. Yeah. Original the character, but yeah, I thought it was kind of a funny thing to go with. I've also grown up with shows like The Simpsons where they often do parodies of stuff, so I kind of just did the Iron Seagull name also as a parody of one of my favorite superheroes. The next question comes from Transform987. If you could have any character in Super Smash Bros., who would it be? And which Sonic character would you like to see in Smash Bros.? Oh man, I could do an entire video dedicated to which characters I want to see in Super Smash Bros., but I'll keep it to one for each part of this question. So, for the first part, if I could have any character in Smash, so I would definitely put in the Inklings from Splatoon. Splatoon is such an amazing game, definitely a good example of a modern masterpiece for Nintendo, and it would be really good to celebrate that recent success by putting the Inklings in Smash Brothers. And there's so many potential moves they could have when you just look at their sub-weapons and their special moves. Especially, you could have things like the Squid Beacon, so you could quickly jump to any part you want in the stage, or you could have like the Ink Strike as your final smash and just unleash like a nuclear strength Ink Strike on everybody. And you could really do some great things with the custom movesets. Like, so far, Palutena is the only character with completely different moves for each move that you can customize. So they could do that with the Inklings as well, which would be really good, because none of the DLC characters so far have custom moves, but you could easily change some of the custom moves, so you could use like the Kraken as your final smash instead of the Ink Strike, or like the Inkzooka as another one. So there's just so many things they could take right from Splatoon, and they could really make it one of the most unique characters in Smash Brothers history. As for which Sonic character I'd like to see, I'd love to see Knuckles playable, because like, he's made for a fighting game. He throws punches and all that good stuff, but he'd have some unique moves as well. Like, for one of his recovery moves, he can glide back to the stage. I know they kinda got rid of the gliding system with characters like Charizard and Meta Knight in Smash Bros. 4, but I think they could bring it back for Knuckles, especially since that's like an essential part of his character. And Knuckles doesn't really glide up or down, he just goes in a straight line, so his gliding would not be broken. So he'd be like a really good character that's sort of in the middle, where he can throw some really good punches, but his recovery is also pretty good. It's just that he wouldn't be the heaviest character in the game, so it wouldn't be too hard to send him flying, and Knuckles could have some interesting... As for his final smash, I think they could draw some inspiration from Sonic Adventure 2's multiplayer, and use a move that he did called Thunder Arrow, where upon contact with another player, it would mess up their controls for a limited period of time. So that'd be quite interesting, and it would be almost like an instant kill, but not really, because if your controls were confused, you might fall off the stage and accidentally kill yourself. Alright, next question comes from Drew True Builder, and he asks if Maxis contacted me for the next expansion and wanted my ideas, what kind of expansion theme, gameplay, and content would be included. Now this is a pretty interesting question for me to answer, because the next expansion pack that I want is not the one that I want the most overall. What I really want to happen next is a sort of like Generations expansion, but way better than the Sims 3 version, where we would get both toddlers and preteens. Because, yeah, it's really just inexcusable that they've gone on for so long without at least giving a hint as to when toddlers are going to come back, and it would really suck if we had to wait until next year for toddlers to come back, or at least next year, if not longer. I'm getting very tired of seeing like all the "we want toddlers." You know what the game is missing? Toddlers. I'm not buying this game until toddlers come back. Well, how about you please those people who want toddlers in the game? Do it! Just do it! Seriously though, how I would go about including toddlers in the game is that I would include the basics of toddlers for free in a patch. Like, you'd get the lifespan, you'd get the cribs, you'd get the changing table, and all the stuff you would expect toddlers to have. But then, at the same time, this Generations expansion pack would come out and include more themed furniture for the toddlers, like the Animals Abound set from the Sims 3 store. So that way they could give us toddlers but still make money off of it and be able to add more stuff for toddlers in future expansion packs, instead of it being like the usual deal with pets, where it's just like they only have one shot to include everything for pets and then leave it forever after that. But going back to the preteens idea, I think that would also be a really cool thing to include and help The Sims be more advanced than they were in previous games, because the child to teen transition, it's not the most sudden thing in the world, but you could improve it a little bit by having something in between them. So I think that would be a really interesting thing to introduce into the series. It'd be pretty amazing if with preteens they also did the same approach I suggested for toddlers, with the basics being included in the free patch and more themed content being included in the generations like expansion pack, because that would be a way of not just saying sorry for making us wait so long for toddlers, a thing that should have been in the base game, but also to do one better. Other things I'd love to see in this expansion pack besides new age groups is a new world. I'm really tired of the same two themes that we've had for almost a year now, and I think one that could still fit the Generations theme pretty well is this tutor style world we saw in early screenshots of The Sims 4. What happened to it? Nobody knows. Maybe it was just put on the back burner, hopefully, instead of being scrapped entirely, because it does look like a potentially very nice world. And I think a tutor style world would be something that would be themed but not too themed, because I don't think it would really make too much sense to say include like a Japanese world in a Generations like expansion. That should be saved for an actual vacation sort of expansion pack. But something like a tutor world would, yeah, it'd be something that would kind of be neutral yet still be themed enough so that it has flavor and doesn't feel that generic. Other than that, I'd like pretty much everything that was in Generations, from the slumber parties to the private schools to prom, which could actually become like its own get to work sort of like goal system, where you actually go to the prom and you do stuff like dance with your date or find a date or like become prom king or queen, stuff like that. So yeah, most of the stuff I'd like to see in it would be old ideas, but I think they're necessary things to have in the game. The next question is from XDarkness22X. What is your favorite food and favorite color, since I suggested that in the initial video? Okay, so first, my favorite food. It's a little bit of a tough decision. I love pizza, but I think overall lasagna would be my favorite food. That's kind of like the food where it's just like, it doesn't even really matter what kind of lasagna it is. It's pretty much guaranteed that I'll like it, and lasagna is very filling too, so yeah, lasagna is pretty great. It's just kind of funny because thinking back to when I was a kid, I thought it was disgusting, and when I was a kid I was just like, oh, if the food looks disgusting it'll probably taste bad too, right? But I was proven so wrong when I finally tried it, and I think Garfield's love for lasagna was what helped me come around to try it. And favorite color, my favorite color is blue. It's a bit cliche for a guy to like blue, yeah, but still, I like blue. It's a very nice color that looks good on anything, and I'll also give an honorable mention to purple. That's another really cool color, especially with Mace Windu in Star Wars having a purple lightsaber. I think that really helps a lot. I'm not claiming to be Sam Jackson's biggest fan or anything, but I just thought that was really, really cool. Alright, last question from Hollow Sprite Sims. Are you a cat person or a dog person? It's kind of funny the timing of all this, because recently in Splatoon there was that Splatfest where you could be Team Cat or Team Dog, and definitely Team Cat all the way. Cats are so funny and they're so cute, and they make, in my opinion, the best memes on the internet, so cats, hands down. Okay, that's all the questions answered. I did not expect this video to take so long, but it was really enjoyable doing this, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it too. Props to you if you've actually watched this video from beginning to end. But yeah, once again, thank you for well over 5,000 subscribers, and I really hope that I continue to reach more people in the future. It's really cool, like, seeing your comments and that you guys like letting me know what you liked about my videos and that it made your day and such. It really does feel nice just having an impact on other people's lives. But yeah, I gotta get going now, so I will talk to you guys later and have a great day. Thanks for watching.